All right, take three.
Take three. Hey everybody, this is Pastor Will and
Jimmy.
with the world famous Will and
Jimmy Show.
and guess what? We're still at the same place we were a week ago.
We are. We thought we might not be
Yeah.
here, but you know, every time you start a project,
Right.
you always run into things that you weren't expecting.
Always count at least double the time.
Pretty much. So
Yeah.
here we are.
Right. So we are working on our new studio next door. And you're believing and hoping that next week we will be in there, right?
I'm firm in believing that.
All right.
It's close to being done
It
today.
is. Yes.
As we record this today, it's very, very, very close.
Yes.
But just some electrical, there's a lot of work goes
Yes.
into this kind of stuff. So
Right.
we're really upgrading, and takes time.
Yes.
So,
Rome wasn't built in a day.
so that is our plan. That next week we will be in our new studio
Good.
with a very
Special
special
guest.
guest. Yeah.
Yeah, and you will know this special guest, and I think it's exciting that this person be the one for our new studio.
Absolutely.
All right.
Yeah, I think it is.
And actually, the new sound booth also has been restructured to match the new studio. And we raised it up, what, 20
20
inches?
inches. Yep.
So we gave Jimmy a 20-inch raise from Shades of Grace. We told him he's going to get a raise. You just didn't know how.
I thought it was supposed to be percentage,
Yeah,
not
well,
inches.
you got 20 inches. Yeah, 20% raise. Yeah. Anyway, we're joking about that, but he's going to be, our new sound booth is going to be much
Very-
higher,
very high.
looking down. I think I'm excited to see how that's
I
going
am
to turn
too. I really am. Yeah,
Yeah.
we were able to go up there today for the first time. The flooring is
Yeah.
all safe and secure. And yeah, it's way up
out. Way
there.
up there.
But that will help too with our cameras and all that. It's a better view of the sanctuary area with the cameras being up higher. So
Yes.
this is all exciting.
It is.
It's a lot going on all here
Right.
at once.
Yes.
But it's very exciting.
Yes, it is.
It sure is.
All
So
right.
that has to be ready before Saturday. We have no choice because we've got to record
That's
our
right.
service.
That's right. Yes.
So the Will and Jimmy Show, we can be a little flexible, but I don't think we could fit our Saturday morning service in this room right here.
No, that would be difficult to do.
So that is our plan, but maybe tomorrow,
Okay.
having everything at least in the beginning processes, all of our cameras, and
Right.
audio and computers, everything kind of getting that hooked back up and,
Okay.
and get a test run and make sure everything's good for Saturday.
All right. And what do you think about a pretty yellow color like this inside the studio?
We talked about
You
that
like
last night. I think that's probably what's going to happen.
Okay.
Yep.
Because several people have complimented the color in this room from the Will and Jimmy show. And it really, I'm looking at the screen, at the video screen, and the color really does show up.
And the camera doesn't do it justice like you see
Right.
with your eyes, but
Right.
it's a very pretty color because this studio will eventually be used for multi-purposes.
Right.
You know,
Right.
we were kind of hoping to maybe use it this week for our free hearing screening, but I don't know that that's going to be a possibility. But we're working on it, and of
Right.
course, weather pending too this week.
That's
Looks like
right.
some nasty stuff is heading this
Yeah.
way.
We'll know more about it in the sweet by and by.
Right. You're watching the show tonight, we will know more.
Yeah.
A little bit more, closer to what it's going
Right.
to be. But right now, it's all over the place.
Yeah, we're recording on Tuesday, which seems like Monday
Yes.
since we were closed.
Yes.
I mean, it's another one of those holiday weeks. So this is going to really be a short week,
Yeah.
believe it or not.
Yeah.
But yeah, we're recording on Tuesday, and we are anticipating area-wide snowfall. But you'll know more about that on Wednesday night when the Will and Jimmy show airs, because it's supposed to move in sometime overnight Tuesday
night, right,
into,
last
into
night. Yep.
today. So
So we'll see.
we shall see.
You never know. This weather is very hard to predict.
That's
in this
exactly
area.
right.
It's very hard.
Yep.
I've heard everything today from absolutely zero. One forecast said that the warm air is going to move in. It's actually going to dry the air. We're not even going to get rain. It's just going to be dry, nothing. And others are saying 6 to 8 inches. So
Yeah.
somewhere in between
Yeah.
is what we'll get.
The famous words of the prognosticator and the meteorologist is, could be, maybe might. might not.
Maybe.
That's just about it. But anyway, someone said if you don't like the weather in East Tennessee, just hang around, it'll change. But I think that's everywhere, you know, it's pretty much anywhere you go.
We really do get all 4 seasons
We do.
here.
Yeah.
Which a lot of places don't get that.
That's
They
right.
have 2 seasons.
My sister and my niece live in Dickinson, North Dakota, and she had called me this morning for my birthday early, texted me, and they were having 65 below zero. And that's not wind chill. This was actual temperature, 65 degrees below zero.
How people survive
And
that.
the warm temperature was going to be like 35 below zero.
Goodness, 35 below
Yeah.
zero is the warm.
So
wow.
I'll take what we got, won't you?
Right. Absolutely.
I'll definitely
Yes.
take what we've got.
Yes. But today is Tuesday when we're recording this. Today's a special day.
It is.
It's a very special
It's
day.
been a busy day.
You got a
I know
lot of
that.
people singing to you today.
Sure, they've been singing and bringing me gifts, and it must be something happened. As my Cuban friend used to say in Miami, something happened.
Yeah, something happened.
Something happened.
Somebody turned a year older today.
Yeah, I sure did.
Happy birthday,
Thank
Pastor
you,
Will.
thank you.
And I know
And-
a lot of people have joined
Yeah.
us in wishing you
That's right.
wishes today.
Well, and thank all of you. I've tried to click on a few of the responses, but I'm well into the hundreds now, and there's no way I can go through and personally thank each one of you. But if you sent me a birthday note, or if you didn't send me a birthday note, if you prayed for me, whatever, thank you very much. Know that you have made a difference, and I appreciate you. But yeah, I'm celebrating my let's see, let me get it right, 22nd anniversary of my 50th birthday.
I like that.
Sounds right.
That's good. Well, I looked up some facts about your birthday.
Okay, all right.
And some things that happened on this day in history.
All right.
And did you know on this day in 1977, the Space Shuttle Enterprise took off on this day in 1977?
Oh, I thought you were going to go
No.
all the way back to the day I was born.
But I'm getting
Oh,
there.
okay.
We got
All
a
right.
ways to go.
Oh,
We got a
okay.
ways to go.
So you're working
yeah,
backward.
we're working back. But
Okay.
and this was interesting, and this is a little bit before your birthday, but
Okay.
in 1930 on this day,
Oh, that's a long way.
Pluto was discovered.
Is that the dog from Disney?
No, not the dog.
No,
This was
no.
what used to be a planet.
Okay,
And then also just some fun facts. You share birthdays with some famous people.
I do.
Yes, you do. John Travolta
Oh,
has
okay.
the same birthday as you.
Okay.
And Yoko Ono.
Good old Yoko.
Yoko. And also looked something up too. The number one song
Okay.
on your birthday, in the year that you were born, was a song called "Till I Waltz Again with You" by Teresa Brewer and her orchestra.
I've not heard that one.
I've not
I
heard
don't
that,
think
but
so.
you know we might hear that.
I bet
tonight.
we'll hear it tonight. Yeah.
Till
I waltz with you again.
with you.
Okay.
So that was on
All
your
right.
birthday in your birth year.
1953. Can you believe it?
No,
I mean,
it doesn't seem that way to me.
I don't feel any different than I did in 1973, really. I mean, you know, your body gets older, but your mind gets sharper. And to me, I mean, I can relate to the young people. I can relate to the old people.
Yeah.
I is one of them now. But, you know, a lot of people are denied the privilege of getting older. So I'm thanking God for every day of my life. It's a wonderful journey.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, I'm glad to see that you've had a good day.
Well, you know what? I was speaking at First Broad Street United Methodist Church on the Sunday morning to a class, and some of my best information I forgot to tell them.
Oh, did you?
You know, you get up there and then you have so much information and 30 or 40 minutes to do it. But what I was going to tell them, I looked up, and maybe I didn't tell you this, what is the most productive years of a person's life? From, what are those 10 productive years?
30 to 40?
No?
60 to 70?
Yeah.
Okay.
60 to 70. And then the
Most productive
second
years.
most productive years of a person's life is from 70 to 80.
Wow.
Did you know that?
No.
And so I was sharing with the folks at First Broad Street, and you know, that's worked out for me, which I've had a wonderful life and done so many things that just has totally blows my mind that I've been able to do. But I was 60 years old when I started Shades of Grace.
Yeah. Well. Yeah.
And
yeah.
I had gone with the Holston Conference pastors to Texas. I've gone to several different training events for new pastors to start new congregations. And all of them were younger than I, to be honest, because at that time I was probably 45 or 50, and most of them were 25 to 40 or something. And yet I always went because I kept it before the conference and before the bishops and the DS that I feel God calling me to this kind of work. And so finally, when the time came, I was 60 years old, and they said, well, we're going to appoint you, because I threatened to quit. I said, I'll leave the conference and go independent, but I'm going to start a new church. And so the bishop and the DS approved me to begin the church, but it almost didn't happen. And you know why?
What was that?
I'm too old.
Yeah.
At the age of 60, they said there's lots of younger pastors who can start new churches, and you're too old at 60. I said, well, where are all these younger pastors, and why aren't they starting new churches? And there wasn't much of an answer for that. But at 60, I was appointed to the new church start. And so now we're in our 11th year. I feel like that has been the most productive 10 years of my life.
Yeah.
That I can look back.
Yeah.
You know, the first 60 years was here, there, and everywhere, and all kinds of dreams and goals and ambitions, and traveling the world and doing all these things. And at 60, I actually was given the challenge to do what I felt called to do. And so now I'm in that next level from 60 to 70. I'm already well into that, but I'm still looking at my second most productive span of life.
Right.
So I'm not going to give up yet.
No.
So if you're out there and you're thinking that maybe you're just a little too mature,
That's one way.
a little too old to do something. I shared with the folks at Broad Street that Abraham and Sarah were in their 70s when God spoke to them, and they were about 90 to 100 when their first child was born. Mm-hmm. And then they lived quite a few years after that. So, God doesn't like excuses. God says, if I'm calling you, then just do it. Just get out there and do it.
Just do it.
And in reality, if I'd had started this 30 years ago, I would have loved all of it.
Sure. Yeah.
But God let me learn a lot and finally decide that pastoring an everyday, normal congregation is not what I'm called to do.
Right.
I'm doing what I'm called to do. So,
which is
there
a
you
lot.
go. Yeah.
A lot. We always say that people just don't realize how much goes on here in a day's time. And I think I heard somebody mention that to you today in the background, talking about all that you just said, wow, you're right. The ministry really takes place here Monday through Friday, not on Saturday mornings.
And
Did I hear something like that today?
More than once.
Passing.
Yeah.
And today was just, we've got a lot going on in the building with the construction, and we had a group with us today from Advanced Financial. They faithfully serve here every couple of months, and we had a lot going on today. Very busy day.
And some young folks came whose school was canceled because of the flooding and all of that kind of thing. So we've had a diverse mixture of people in the building today.
And today I noticed on the suite, today we had our clothing closet was open, and our women's showers was open as well today. And I noticed once on the sidewalk, the line to the clothing closet was about as far back as you could see. And I didn't get a chance to talk to any of the ladies from the clothing closet, but I'm assuming they left right after because it was so busy.
Right.
They probably, worked really hard this morning. I'm sure they always do. But it was a very, very busy morning.
Yes.
Maybe people are getting prepared for the weather that's coming. But also, I always try to talk to people when weather like this is coming because they don't realize it.
Right. They don't always have the means of hearing the news or whatever, like many of us do.
Try to make plans. And I noticed, we leave like the Weather Channel on our televisions in Shades of Grace. And I noticed when people are coming in to shower or use the restroom or whatever the need may be, they are fixed to the weather.
Yes.
on the TV.
That's
and that's
true.
why that's the main reason why I leave that up there. Used
Right.
to I would play different kinds of nature scenes and things of that kind of stuff. But I leave that
Exactly.
up there so they can know what's going on.
Right.
Because you need to be prepared.
One day at a time, but yeah, that's true.
Yeah. So that's why we do that.
Absolutely.
It was a very busy day today. I think we hit right at 150 meals
Did we?
before the end of the day today.
Okay.
So lots going
A
on.
lot happening
Yeah, lots
here
going on.
in God's living room.
And it is odd. You mentioned yesterday, Monday was a holiday, so we took a break. But it's odd today coming back. I appreciate the time off, but then it just throws everything off.
I think
a
we've
little bit.
done 2 days' work today.
Oh, yeah,
in the one day that we were
absolutely.
closed,
Absolutely,
so.
we have. We
Yeah.
definitely have. And picked up where we left off last week.
Yes.
And we got a lot of things still coming up. Like mentioned earlier, the hearing screening. And as of right now, that's still on.
As far as we know.
We'll, no pun intended, we'll play that by ear.
Yes. Please do.
See. But, we will be here.
Yes.
And we will see how that goes. But excited. We've had a lot of inquiries about that
Have we?
just in the last couple of days.
Okay.
Of people, had someone message me last night and said, "Hey, my father really needs this,
Okay.
and if I come with, he's kind of embarrassed to admit that he needs the assistance, the hearing assistance, because it kind of ages him,
Sure.
I guess." And she said that he said he will come if I will lead him.
Well, good.
So I said, "Absolutely, come on down. This would be a great opportunity."
Absolutely.
For
A
you.
non-threatening environment.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's great.
So this is a community event. This is not
Yeah.
just for folks who are here on the streets and right around us. This is for anyone.
Just come on
who
out.
needs.
There's no charge to anything we do at Shades.
No, and there will be hearing aid options
Yes.
available. A lot of the details of that are still being worked out. But this is not just a screening
Right.
to say, "Hey, yes, you need hearing aids." This is a screening that will also help you.
We can
get
help
what you
remedy
need.
your
Right.
situation. Right.
Because hearing aids are very expensive.
Yes.
Or they can be very expensive.
Right.
So that is an option. So
Okay.
if you need that help, or if you know someone who does, maybe somebody who's been struggling with their hearing, like this gentleman, she said in her message to me, she said he's sitting right next to my mother and can't hear what she's saying.
Wow.
And I jokingly said, "Are you sure that it's not doing it on the purpose?" And we got to get a laugh.
Your
about
wife
it.
wasn't watching that, Jimmy. So.
Well, she knows. She knows.
Yeah.
But that's coming up, and then
Oh, yeah, and we'll get something else next week.
we've got next Thursday.
Yeah.
Long time coming. We've got our Thursday movie matinee
All right.
for the first time. So how many of you all? We talked about that last week. How many of you went and watched the preview that we were talking about?
I did not get a
You
chance
did not?
to do that.
And if you didn't, it's still on our Facebook page. 2.5 minutes long, I think. It's well worth watching. And it will make you want to come watch this movie.
The
I guarantee
Forge.
it. The Forge.
Okay.
It is The Forge. So,
And I've gotten a
check it
couple
out.
of leads on some other movies that folks would like to see.
Okay.
So
All right.
hopefully this is going to become a regular event for our community. And actually, after we talked about this on the Will and Jimmy show last Wednesday night, a dear friend of our congregation came in
Yep.
and gave a donation
Sure did.
toward the movie nights.
Yep.
Isn't that great?
That's wonderful.
So
That is
thank
great.
you, friend. God bless you.
Yes.
Some folks don't necessarily want their names mentioned, and we try to honor that.
Right.
We did not ask permission, so but we thank you so much. And that's just God's affirmation and God's favor upon the idea. But we're going to try to just provide a safe environment for anybody to come, watch a good, wholesome movie, have some popcorn, some chef's pizza,
Yeah.
and a cold drink.
Yeah.
It's a little treat that we can offer to our friends, not only from the streets, but anybody who wants to come. It's open. It's just a good time for
It's
all.
a few minutes of just kind of escape
Okay.
from
Yes.
reality.
Yes.
A good movie, just you forget everything that's going on around you and you just focus on that. And this is a great, wholesome movie. It's very encouraging.
Right.
I watched it.
Did you watch it?
Yeah.
So
I watched it this weekend.
did it live up to it?
Oh, it's fantastic.
Good.
It's a great Very spiritual film. Very spiritual film. I just wanted to really see what it was all about.
Okay.
I couldn't wait. And one of the reasons I did it too is because I was afraid on Thursday when we played the movie, Shades of Grace doesn't stop. Even
Right.
where, there's always, the phone's always ringing, and I really wanted to see it before,
Right,
so I went ahead and watched it this past weekend. But we had to purchase a license to be able to show films.
Right.
So we are kind of a public. It's a public broadcast, I guess is what it's called. So we purchased this license. It's a yearly license,
Okay.
and that is on top of what we do for our music as well.
Okay.
Because we purchase a license for any music that we play as part of our services on Facebook and YouTube.
And once in a while, we still get shut down.
Yeah,
even
every
though
now and then we do.
we have
but
the
even
license.
though we're shut down, we're still in the legal right.
Right.
Because we have a copyright license, we have a streaming license,
Right.
and now we have a video
All
license.
right.
We have 3. But Facebook it's a robot that picks that up and shuts it down, and we try to be careful about it. But sometimes it's still, it happens. There's
Yes,
nothing
it
about
does.
it. But by getting this license for the movie, we can advertise the name of the film
Okay.
that we're playing.
Right.
Like we can put ads out, we can put it on our screens that are at the front door,
Sure.
Shades of Grace, and advertise what the movie is each week. And we can play pretty much anything that we want to play,
Good.
whether it be on DVD, Blu-ray, or Netflix, or whatever we stream from. We
And
can
what
play
size
the movie.
are our screens again?
86-inch screens.
So we have 3 86-inch screens in our building, and hey, you can enjoy the movie.
Comfortable seats.
Yeah.
It's like the
Oh,
theater
yeah.
seats.
That's
you know?
right.
I mean,
Yeah.
really,
Yeah.
And I'm excited. I'm really excited. I'm
Yeah.
excited to do this again.
Well, I think this is just a welcome break for the community.
Right. Right.
Something that anybody can enjoy in a safe environment.
And here, what's it been, a month ago now, I guess, when we did the service on Thursday
Yeah.
because of the weather.
Yeah.
Uh,
At least.
and maybe
or longer.
Yeah, maybe 5,
Yeah.
6 weeks ago.
Yeah.
And that was kind of a spur of the moment
An
thing,
impromptu 3-hour notice.
but successful.
Yes.
Very, and people, I enjoyed it. Everyone enjoyed
Well,
it.
everybody, we had 30-some
33
people
people.
came, and every one of them said, hey, if you have, we don't care what day of the week you have church, we'll come.
Yeah.
And we had a few visitors that day who said, yeah, well, let us know, we'll come.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I think Shades of Grace is the kind of place that if you advertise a church service, they will come.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's exciting.
We found that out.
That doesn't happen just everywhere, and we certainly don't take that for granted, but God has placed his favor upon this place in so many, many ways.
Amen to that.
Yeah. So that's exciting. So
is.
you've got the next 8 days taken care of. Mention what's coming up this Saturday.
What is coming up this Saturday?
What do we do on Saturday?
We have church.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Why don't you
Saturday
invite
morning,
everybody?
10:30, right here, Shades of Grace. Music starts about 10.
Yeah.
Do we have special music this week?
I am not sure
I
yet.
think we do.
Do we?
I think so. I don't want to say who,
Okay.
but I think we
Okay.
do. It was rescheduled from this past week.
Okay.
So
All
I
right.
believe we have some special music. Someone who's been with us for a long time but hasn't been here recently.
Okay. Got you.
Some illness and
Work schedule.
traveling and work and all that good stuff. So
Right.
I do believe we have some special music planned.
And by the way, Oscar called me a little while ago, and they've had the flu.
Yeah.
And of course, they live in Mendota, and the river floods the road. And so he said, I just wanted to call my church family and let all of you know that I miss you and I love you. Now, he was here about 2 weeks ago with Katie, his wife,
Right.
but he'd recently had I started to say the heart transplant,
No.
the pacemaker installed, and had to miss about 6 weeks for that. But he's back into circulation, and he just wanted to tell everybody, Shades of Grace, how much he loves you and that he misses us. So
We'll be having him back here
Yeah.
real soon.
he'll be back with us.
Real soon. You never know where
You know
is.
who we need to call
Who do we need to call?
is Pastor Michael
Yes.
and
we need to
Heather
do this.
from Gate City,
Yep.
because they're supposed to be our special guest sometime in the very near future. And if you're out there and you view this, and for whatever reason you might have a witness to your faith or something you would like to share for maybe 10 minutes or so, let us know. We'll try to interview you, record it, so that people will know your story as well.
We would love to have that.
Yes.
We love to hear those stories. People love to hear just where you've came from, you know, what's your introduction to Shades of Grace, because each of us have our own story of how we became involved with Shades of Grace. You know, and everyone's is different. Everyone's is unique. No one's is the same.
That is true.
And a lot of times it's stuff that we don't know about.
Right.
You know, and we've been able to hear some of those on our Will and Jimmy show over the last couple of years.
Well, you know, this past Saturday morning, Jennifer had been a part of our congregation years ago, and then she moved to Kentucky and has been working there, maybe taking classes and whatever. But she was back. She said, I'm glad to be back home. She's planning to get an apartment here in town, and hopefully she's back at church. And some of you have not been able to be with us for a while, and I know that you're able to stay connected through virtual church, and we're so thankful for that. There's some of you that I know would love to get back with us in a safe environment. Come on out and be with us. We have masks if you need that. We have been avoiding the choir for a while because of all the airborne viruses and things, but that's clearing up. You know, things are settling down, and we will have a choir again. I promise you.
Yep. Think as the weather warms.
Yes.
You know, that sickness kind of starts to die down, and that's coming.
Yes.
It's. I know we may not feel it right now, but it's coming.
Exactly.
It'll be here soon.
Yes.
Time changes here coming up in a couple of weeks.
Soon.
I believe it's March the 9th.
And then Ash Wednesday begins on the 5th of March.
Yep.
And, you know, I've always heard that if there is an early Easter, it'll be an early spring, but they also say if it's a late Easter, the winter will be extended as far as your bad weather. Well, we have Easter almost as late as it can be.
Right.
It's way in the later part of April. So we've still got winter yet to go, and the little winters of Tennessee. But the days are getting longer, the sunshine is getting warmer, and you can just feel it, you know. We're still in the winter season for a while longer. But doesn't it just give you a whole different feel when you walk out in the sunshine?
Oh, yeah.
And just feel the sunshine soaking in. I mean, that's really good.
The longer days help me a lot.
Yes.
And help a lot of people that I know a lot. I mean, it's and even when it's cold, you're right, the sun still, there's something about it. It's the old gray, yucky days that are kind of a struggle.
And the long nights.
People. Oh, yeah.
The very long nights that we have.
Yes. So even though it's still cold, I enjoy the longer days.
Yes, I do too.
You know, before long, we're already starting to see some life coming out of the ground.
Yeah,
little things popping up here and there.
Yeah.
And, that's always exciting for me. I enjoy this time.
I haven't seen anything around my house yet, but I've seen a few little tips of some daffodils or something maybe trying to break through. So, and they'll kind of just sit there as long as the weather is cold. They'll just sit there. They have kind of a built-in thermostat, and that, you know, the weather doesn't kill them. And I believe I read, if I'm not mistaken, it's going to be down in the single digits tomorrow night, which is Thursday. I think they said 5 or 6 degrees. Did you hear that?
Yep.
So it's going to be rather cool.
Very cold.
But my sister and my niece live in North Dakota, and their temperatures were way. Did we talk about that?
We were talking about that earlier.
Were we talking about it here or next door?
No, here today.
Oh, we
were. Part
were.
of this show, yeah. We talked about that already.
You could tell it. Hey, it's I've already my train has already run around the track.
But you know, one question that comes to mind. I'm assuming houses are built differently in that area. Because how would you keep a house warm at 65 below zero? Or do you just get accustomed to it?
Well, they tell me, she just says, I wear layers of clothing all day and all night.
Okay.
They dress in layers.
Okay.
So,
gosh,
who knows?
Man, I can't imagine.
Yeah. So our little dingy 5 to 10 degrees is really a heat wave
for them. Right. Yes. Yeah, I'm just curious to see how, think about like heating and power bills, and this is a tough time of year.
Yes.
For utility bills, especially electric.
How many calls have you had today?
Probably 5 or 6 today. But last week, one day, Tuesday, Wednesday of last week, before lunchtime, I had 6 or maybe even 7 people that had their electric disconnected that morning.
Wow.
That must have kind of been the cycle day.
Yeah.
And the rates for reconnection ranged from $200 all the way up to $900.
Wow.
And sometimes we hear $3,000,
Wow.
to get them reconnected and such. And,
And sometimes we just have to say no. I mean, we thank you. We live totally on offerings and tithe and gifts, and that's how we operate. But, when we're getting 20 and 30 calls a week of people needing electric bills like that paid, there's just no way that I don't think the United Way could keep that up,
No.
But we do give a very generous donation every month to KCMC, Kingsport Christian Ministry Center. And what do we give? $1,600 a month?
$1,500 a month.
$1,500 a month that we give every month to that. And of course that goes into a fund where other churches in the city also contribute. And then Mary Watterson vets every case and is able to help accordingly one time a year. And I think that's the fairest way that we can do that.
It is.
We used to try to help everybody, and we've had so many in the last couple of years that we can no longer operate that way.
Right.
And sometimes people don't understand it because my office is just behind Jimmy's desk, and I hear people tell him, but you helped us a few years ago. Mm-hmm. But things have changed. We all know the world is upside down, and it just doesn't operate like it used to.
Right.
And we have to go accordingly.
We still, in some situations, help even outside of what we already give.
Yes.
Because, a lot of times it takes an agency or 2 or sometimes 3 to work together to get that utility turned back on or to get the eviction notice cleared. And, that's a good thing to see. I always enjoy seeing everybody working together.
And we have been able to do that.
Today we had one come in that we did, KCMC had pledged an amount towards their rent. We pledged the same amount. And then they needed a little bit more that they were going to have a third person or agency or church come in and help with. And she came in to give it back and said, hey, I don't need this anymore.
All right.
I was able to come up with it on my own.
Good.
So we were able to clear that pledge. We called KCMC and cleared that pledge. That's probably a first that's ever happened.
Yeah.
But she was so happy that she was able to take care of that on her own.
Yeah.
Because I could tell when she came in needing that assistance, she was struggling to ask for the help. So to be able to take care of that on her own, that must be great.
Right, that is true.
Thing. So,
well, we're very grateful for that too.
And we get these phone calls every day.
Every day.
Each one is very unique, and there's a story to each one.
Right.
And I really do. I wish we could help each and every one.
I do too.
But if you think about it, the cost of 150 meals that we did today.
Yeah.
Just that alone.
And the meal would be at least $5 or $6. So if it's $5, that's $750 that we have given out today. And that was meals that we provided in-house.
Today, yes.
And when you think about all of that, and then all the other things we do, like the water for showers and the laundry that we do for all of that, and the clothing, of course, that's all donated. And the volunteers donate their time to work here. We have very few paid staff. Let's say just, 3 or 4 people who receives a salary of some type or a stipend. But other than that, everything is pretty much volunteer. And we couldn't do it without you all. No. But even when we provide the meals like we did today, someone has to do the shopping and pay for that.
Right.
If another congregation doesn't come in, then, that's money that we pay out of what you give to us. I want to thank Ketron Memorial. I looked up today, And Ketron Memorial Methodist Church here in Kingsport brought in their meals that they do each month for tomorrow.
They did.
And we want to appreciate them. They came. They even brought me a piece of birthday cake.
Oh, did they?
Yeah, they did. So
that's good.
we've got a lot of wonderful partners. You know, Silgan.
Silgan.
Silgan. The A is pronounced like a short A.
Yeah.
Silgan.
Yeah.
Silgan. Okay. Some of you may work there. Be sure and thank your management for their support to Shades of Grace. We have some wonderful, generous people. They brought 3 large boxes of canned goods today that they collected
They've done a
for
food
us.
drive
Yes.
from their employees, and they are very faithful partners with
Yes.
us. And met with us a few weeks ago about
Yes.
what they could do for us this upcoming year.
Yes.
So
So we
they're
appreciate all of you who do support us in so many ways.
we could not do this.
No, we
in this
absolutely
amount.
could
There's
not.
no way.
Right.
And it takes everybody doing their part, as you say, to stay in your lane.
Right.
Everybody that does their specific part. You know, every volunteer has their special area. Every
Yes.
agent of the KCMC, like
Yes.
they focus on one thing,
Yes.
and that is assistance with utilities. And they can do those applications
Right.
and keep those records. Whereas here, we're a little bit spread thin,
Yes.
and we could not do that. But we definitely entrust in them to make those
And that way
decisions
we don't have the same people double dipping and triple dipping.
and go right.
You know,
because that happens.
That we try to be equal opportunity helpers and do what we can for as many people as we can.
Correct.
Right?
Right. And make it work.
Right.
What we get, we really try to make it work.
Yes.
You know, it's not our money; it's God's money.
It is,
And He
yes.
tells us what to do with it.
That is so true.
But that way, I think it helps more. It actually helps more people.
Mm-hmm.
And with us, the way that we operate things now, prior to COVID, with our building not being wide open all day long, every single day, with you having to watch every single corner to see what's going on, now we are able to focus more one-on-one with
Right.
the folks who come in and spend more time
Right.
with them individually. And I appreciate that. And I know they appreciate that
Yes.
too. We see probably more people now than we ever have.
Well, you
We just
know,
do it different.
a good example you were talking about the diversity of a Saturday congregation versus a weekday congregation. And this morning, as a prime example, there were dozens of people on the street already waiting for the meals to be served, for the clothing closet to open, for the shower to open, whatever. And one of our friends, who we see almost every day, came in. He was in tears, very broken, and said, "Pastor Will, can I come in and talk to you?" And it turns out that his mother is in the hospital, and he's very worried about her. She's very sick. She's 83, I believe he told me. And so he came in, and we prayed, and we talked, and then I called Indian Path Hospital. And the nurse was so kind, and I explained to her the situation. She went and talked to the lady who was the patient. The lady gave permission for the nurse to tell me anything that I wanted to know, and her son was sitting there. And that seemed to bring so much comfort. And you see, those are people who have never, not even one time that I can recall, ever in 10 years, come to a worship service. They've never
Right,
been.
never have.
They've never been to a worship service, although they will come into the building to get a meal or whatever. But when troubles come, this is their church. They come, and we give them the comfort. That's the church. That's the work of the church. Jesus said we are to go out to where the people are, and we're in a position here on East Sullivan Street where the people are.
We don't have to go very far.
We don't have to go very far. As somebody said one time, down at Shades of Grace, they've just got the fish jumping in the boats.
Yeah.
But, it's a very unique place. And we're very grateful that you all have allowed us opportunities to do what we do.
This gentleman you're talking about with his mother being in hospital, did you know he came back a second time today?
No.
He came back later this afternoon.
Okay.
And didn't need anything. But I think his mother is his companion.
Yes.
all the time. They live together. Everywhere they go, they are together.
And you'll see them walking all over the city of Kingsport.
And he was lost
Yeah.
today without
Yes, he
her.
was.
And in the thing, just a few months ago, he was in the hospital.
That's right.
And he reached out to us
From the hospital. To go check on
for
his
somebody
mama.
to go check on his mother.
Yeah.
And we did. I did.
Yeah.
I was out running errands that
Yes.
morning. And
I remember I took the call and I called you and you said, I'm in in that neighborhood right now.
less than 5 minutes away.
Yeah.
And we were able to go by there and check on her. And I'll tell you, for 83 years old, she's a strong lady.
She has to be.
She's a strong lady. And I know she might be in a weak moment right now with the things that she's got going on in the hospital.
Right.
She's a very strong-willed lady.
Yes.
But now the tables have turned,
Yeah.
and he's just lost without her.
is,
And I just let him sit there for a few minutes, and
Right.
he likes to tell jokes.
Yeah.
Old corny
Yeah.
jokes that we've heard.
And we've heard them
100
100 times. Yeah.
But I just let him sit there.
Mm-hmm.
And then it started to get a little busy, and there was a couple people waiting, and he could see that. He said, well, I'm going to go on and
Mm-hmm.
let you get back to work. But he did come back. But this, I firmly believe that if you asked him, or someone would ask him, what is your church? Where is your church? He would say Shades of Grace.
Well, last week, for the first time that I know of, he gave you $5
Yes.
and said, put this
Yeah.
in the offering.
Yeah.
And he told me today, he said, well, I'm trying to do what's right. I'm really trying to treat people right and do what's right. And he said, I believe I'll get rewarded somewhere along the way. And what you got to remember about this gentleman, he's middle-aged, but he made the comment today. He said, I struggle trying to work out all these papers, insurance, all this stuff on the phone, because he said, I cannot write, I cannot read, I can't even do the ABCs.
Right.
And he said, I try to explain to people that I can't do this, I can't read. And he gets frustrated. But these are folks who God loves, and I'm so thankful that they feel, that we're a safe place.
And that's what, and a lot of the reason, that's especially here recently, that's what he comes to do.
Yes.
We read his mail and explain it to him what this means. Recently, I helped him change doctors. He was not happy with his doctor. He was wanting to be on less medications than he was on, and we were able to help him find another doctor.
And that's hard to do, to find a doctor to give you less medication.
Well, that's that's the goal. We don't know yet. We're not there yet, but that's what he's trying to do.
Yeah.
But the fact of the matter is sooner than later he's going to be alone.
Yeah.
I mean, that's just the truth.
Well, I really felt maybe that's what the problem was when I went to the door. One of the young people, one of the teenagers, was working today because her school was out, and she came over and said, Pastor Will, this man needs to see you. And when I went, he was crying so hard that, my first thought was she wasn't with him. And I thought, did something happen? And
I had mentioned to you yesterday evening, we had saw him out walking, and my wife commented to me, where's his mother? And I didn't really think much about it, and I said, well, maybe it's just because it's cold, she's not out.
But
when
she
I
walks
saw
when
him
they walk when it's 10 degrees
in the
and
pouring
when it's
rain.
110.
Yeah, and so this morning when I saw him sitting over there, I knew something was wrong.
And
So-
she has a bad case of pneumonia, and her heart was out of rhythm. But other than that, the nurse said she's stable, she was eating and communicating well. So just remember them in prayer.
Yes.
That's just a little glimpse into God's living room and to our diverse congregation. I mean, one other thing, Jimmy. A young man who's working next door, and I'll go ahead and say Ethan. I don't know if he watches our programs or not. I've never asked him, but he's 22. He's so much, just a joy to be around.
He is.
And he's working on the construction next door. And they've worshiped with us for probably a year. But he was talking to me today, and he said, Pastor Will, there's one thing that I'm still struggling with that just blows my mind, and it's hard for me to even fathom. And that is, Shades of Grace is a church where everybody is welcome. And he said, that still just blows my mind, because he said, I see that that's really true. I've been here long enough, and I know that it's not false, it's not fake news, and it's not false advertisement. And he said that just totally blows my mind. And I thought, well, what kind of messages is the church in the world providing today, if not everybody? I mean, if not everybody, who? So, it's something to think about.
Yeah, not a place that I want to be.
No. But we want you to know we are a congregation of, I say we're the island of misfit toys from the Christmas. What is that? Christmas? What was that? Rudolph?
You had asked me that.
One of those.
Yeah.
The island of misfit toys. But that's really who we all are in the kingdom of God. Really. Right?
We are. And we all come together
That's right.
for the same purpose.
Right.
And it's a great thing to see.
Yes.
And it's one thing to watch it online, and if that's the only option you have, we completely understand.
We do.
We will keep doing that as long as we can.
If you were the only one, I could start naming, and I just looked a while ago, we've had over 25,000 people who viewed our Sunday afternoon service so far as of Tuesday. But I could start calling names out of you who do join us virtually, who live close by, but you can't get here.
Right.
Some of you live in assisted living, you're homebound, you can't drive, lots of reasons. But if there was only one of you, if just one person needed this virtual church, we'd do exactly what we do. We would do it for one person.
Yep.
And there's a beautiful picture that hangs in our meditation area by the waterfall in the church that says, it's a picture of the shepherd and the sheep. Mm-hmm. And it said, he left the 99 and came looking for the one. Mm-hmm. And that's the story of God's love.
Yeah.
Amen.
Yeah. Amen to that. And you could be the one.
You may be the one.
I've been the one.
Yes.
I know you've been the one.
Yeah.
But yes, we will. But if you can ever join us in person,
Yeah.
that's the way to experience
It is.
It's the way. And I know that there can be anxieties about going to a new place, especially people who struggle with that sort of thing. But or maybe people who have had church hurt
Right.
in the past. That's a real thing,
Yes.
It seems like I hear that more often
Yes.
now than ever. Church hurt. I was hurt here. I was
Yes.
hurt there. I don't want to go because of this. But we're not perfect.
We're human. We make
Right.
mistakes. But I want you to know that if any time you know of anyone who's ever been hurt at Shades of Grace, we want to know about it. Because, sometimes in our humanness, we fail. Mm-hmm. But we'll be certainly the first ones to say, I repent, I'm sorry, try it again. Hey, we're all just in this together trying to make it.
Right.
And I make my share of mistakes. And sometimes I say things in my sermons, misquoting people, and realize later when I watch it, did anybody know what I'm talking about? Anyway.
And we do that
it's
here
all good.
on our
Yeah.
show too.
Yeah.
But anyway, well, that about does it for tonight.
Well, we got any questions?
I got a couple questions
All
here
right,
for
let's
you.
do it.
Let's do a couple. Let's just finish this up here. So these are all titled, Who Am I? Name
Who?
this person.
Okay.
Okay. So number one, I was mistaken as my sister on her wedding night. When the Lord saw that I was not loved, he opened my womb. I am also Rachel's sister, and some Bible translations say that I have weak eyes. Other translations say that I have lovely eyes. Who am I?
Rachel, and so she was mistaken for Rachel.
Yeah.
Rachel. Why can I not get that? It's
The father switched them,
yeah,
and
yeah. You're gonna have to help me,
Leah.
Leah.
Rachel and Leah.
Leah.
Yeah, Rachel and
I've
Leah.
heard that old story so many times.
All right, question number 2. Who am I? This will be our last one for tonight. My husband prayed to the Lord on my behalf because I was barren, and the Lord answered his prayer, and I conceived. The Lord said to me, 2 nations are in your womb. Isaac is my husband. Who am I?
Did you just quote her name a while ago?
Nah, well, yeah.
You did.
Yeah. No, I didn't.
No.
No, same letter. No, I didn't.
No.
So I'll give you the options, okay?
Okay.
Am I either Rebecca or Esther?
Rebecca.
Rebecca.
Yeah.
You got it.
Yeah. I'm not too good with names anymore.
Those are hard. Well, that can be tricky. That can be. I know the story sometimes, but the names are hard to remember.
And we've all heard those Old Testament stories. But I'm spending more and more of my time in the Gospels and then the New Testament. And not that I've forgotten the principles of the Old Testament, but, I'm just trying to, I've probably forgotten more than I've ever known.
Well, this year I started one of those read the Bible in a year plans on the app, and I listened to it. I let it read to me, and I'd say 3/4 of the time so far, it has just been the lineage of ancestry.
Yeah.
And
those
nothing
are
else.
difficult for me.
There's no way that I can remember those, but I've made myself continue to listen to them because then all of a sudden it'll tell one quick story, and then or a lesson, then it'll go back to that. So,
and a lot of that is the lineage of Jesus, going all the way back to the human family, but the family tree from which Jesus came. It's a lot of interesting characters.
Yes.
Of course, I don't even know half the branches in my family tree on either side.
Same.
And we probably, well, anyway, I'll leave it there. One thing we need to pray about when I said anyway.
Okay. I know what you're going to say.
Our friend Jim Goddard, Pastor Jim Goddard, we found out earlier today, is in Holston Valley Hospital, and he's very sick, and he needs our prayers. So please pray for Jim and Kim Goddard.
Yes.
Do you have any?
Good people. Good people.
You got any requests?
Nothing specific, just several that we're working with
Yeah.
here that are sick. There's someone told me this morning, first thing, he said, "Hey, did you hear that I have kidney cancer?" And I had not heard that
Yeah.
yet. And then we also have someone who is in our homeless community that has cancer.
Yes.
And I heard she's not doing well
Right.
at all.
Right.
And
We did get a request Saturday morning in church to pray for her.
So lots of those needs.
Yes.
And just pray for us.
Right.
Because we carry these, with us.
You may
day.
see just a homeless person walking down the street with a backpack or pushing a buggy, but we might know their story a little more than others. Just be careful and love one another, pray for one another, and be thankful that you're not walking in their shoes.
Yes.
Could be.
Could be.
Yeah.
Could be.
So let's do our best just to love our neighbor as Jesus taught us to do. It's hard sometimes. We're still doing our best.
We try.
Trying.
Every day.
Yeah.
Every day.
All right.
All right. Well, thank you all for joining us again in our little temporary location.
And we do hope to be in the new place next week
Yes.
with our special guest.
Yes. So I'm excited.
Yeah, I am
So
too.
make plans now to join us. Remember, health screening this Thursday.
And church Saturday morning.
Church Saturday morning,
Yep.
10:30. Thursday movie matinee
Yeah.
on the 27th.
I believe.
So I think that's right. So we've
All
got
right.
a lot coming up. Mark your calendars. We'd love to have you with us.
Absolutely.
All right.
All right. Good night,
All
friends. And we'll talk to you again. Let's see. Jimmy, let me put you put me on the spot today.
Have I?
Yeah. One of
Okay.
the people kept telling me on the street every time I go to the door and outside, they say, "Happy birthday, Pastor Will." And finally I looked at this lady, "How do you know it's my birthday?" She said, "If you turn around and look, you'll be really surprised." And I turned around and I didn't see anything. It was right in front of me, the little sign that we keep out there with the daily activities. There was a picture of me that said, "Everybody wish Pastor Will a happy birthday." And they were all laughing at me because I hadn't noticed it. So
Oops.
thank you for all of the attention today. But what's happening with you when?
I don't know.
Is it Saturday?
Yeah. Yeah.
This coming
This
Saturday.
coming Saturday. Yeah.
Okay.
It'll be
You've
my
been
turn.
warned.
It'll be my turn.
It's all right.
Yeah.
Just tell Jimmy how much you appreciate him.
Thank you. I appreciate
Don't.
all of you.
He doesn't need all the cards
No.
and letters just to
No.
save those and
Yep.
send them to somebody in a nursing home.
That's right.
Right.
That's right.
Or in jail. All right,
All
everybody.
right. Thank
Good
you
night.
all. Good night.
Till I was again with you. Let no other hold your charm. If my dreams should all come true, you'll be waiting for my arms till I kiss you once again. Keep my love locked in your heart, darling, I'll return and then we will never have to part. Though it may break your heart and mine, the minute when it's time to go, remember, dear, each word divine that meant I love you so till I was again with you. Just the way we are tonight, I will keep my promise true. For you are my guiding